It's a pleasure to be here today, and I just want to say thank you as well while I'm here for the awards. That's been really great, and I'm really pleased to receive that on behalf of Sainsburys. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is give you a little bit of overview about what's going on in terms of the shoppers and their shopping habits, talk a little bit about eggs and Sainsburys and where we see free range, and then finish off with how we work with our development group farmers. So to start with, we'll just give you some vital stats on Sainsburys. We actually have 1,254 stores across the UK. 660 of these now are convenience stores. 594 are supermarkets. We serve around 24 million customers every week, and we do this with the help of 161,000 people based within Sainsburys, and that's the ones at the front of the store doing all the customer facing stuff, and it's the things in the store support centre, which is where I sit, so it's product developers, buyers, technologists and the agriculture team. So on top of that, we have around 30,000 products that we sell, sourced from over 770 suppliers around the world, and we're working, we estimate, with around 17,000 farms. So first of all, a little bit of market context. I think everybody's well aware that the retail marketplace at the moment is highly competitive. And in fact, our new CEO, Mike Cooper, said quite publicly that in the 30 years, he's had a little bit more experience than me in retail. 30 years he's been working in the retail marketplace. This is the most challenging he's ever known it. And really there's two main reasons for this. The first one is that even though we've seen population growth in the UK over recent years, the actual volumes that we're selling through retail is actually stayed relatively static. On top of this, the retail industry has added around 3% more space to the thing. So you all know what supply and demand is. You're in the egg market. You know what the influence of supply and demand is. Customers have a lot more choice about where and how they shop. On top of that as well, we've seen actually some deflation, or certainly no inflation in the industry in terms of value, mainly driven by the price investments that you're seeing on the screen here, made by the retailers, but also due to the drop in commodity prices. So fuel at the moment is obviously the big one this year. It's great for customers, they're paying less at the pumps, but it has added to the deflation. So next off, a little bit of market context in terms of why we're not seeing any volume growth and how customers are shopping. So this shows that since 2009, what we've actually seen is that customers are shopping more frequently, but their basket sizes are shrinking. And essentially what they're doing with this is they're doing it for two reasons: to reduce waste and to control budget. So we've seen there, you can see in the graph, that a steady increase in people who are shopping more than 3 times a week, and we're seeing a decline in the people who are doing that one big weekly shop. What we are seeing as well is that the increase in store space, both through convenience and supermarkets, and the increase in choice is actually driving that behaviour. It's driving that more frequent shop because people are able to do so. So we're actually seeing shoppers buy more things for today, for now, and for the next couple of days, rather than that big shop. And the kind of things they're buying in this is really about freshness, it's about choice, and it's about ease and speed of shop. So when they're choosing a store to go to, actually in this circumstance, price is important, but it's not the main factor for them. The main factor is around that ease and speed of shop. We're still seeing them do a weekly shop, and this is for bulk items, things that are non-perishable, things they don't really engage with, so bleach, toilet rolls, that kind of thing. And when they're doing this, price is a lot more important to them. This is where they'll travel to somewhere to get the best price, or they'll shop online to make sure they get the best price. So where is the shopping happening and what's happening? There's been a lot of conversations recently about the death of the out-of-town supermarket, but you can see from our forecast there that we're still saying that for a majority of people, for a majority of the time, they'll be doing their shopping out-of-town supermarkets. This, again, the supermarket will give that opportunity for that day into night shop, and from Sainsbury's point of view, we're working hard to make sure that's an easy shop for people wanting to do it in that way. You can see there as well the increase in the discounters. So we're estimating that by 2022 it'll be around 15% of the market, and we're basing this really on the fact that in the 90s Quick Save was 10 to 11% of the UK market, and in continental Europe, where this discount market is much more mature, it's around 12 to 15%. The biggest opportunities for everybody really is online and convenience stores. For our online offer, it's grown double digits for the last 3 years, and we've done a lot in terms of making it easier to shop online. There's a lot of opportunity there because we can do things like when people put bacon in their basket, we can flash up, do you want eggs with that? And we can do a little bit more with the promotional engagement. Also, we're investing heavily in click and collect, and I don't know whether many of you are aware, but we're actually doing a trial at the moment with click and collect from tube stations. So customers can go in, order their food, and then pick up their shopping on the way home, on their commute home from their tube station. It's all about serving them when they want and where they want. Convenience for us, we're actually adding 2 stores a week currently to our convenience stores, and what we are looking at now is formats and how we can alter them depending on where they are. So in densely populated urban areas, we're actually looking to go to a smaller store size that does this for tonight and for today's shop, and gets customers in and out quickly and serve that particular occasion. Then we're looking at larger formats to give people more choice. We've just mentioned discounters, and I thought since I was stood here, I'd just talk to you a little bit about Netto. So you may be aware that Sainsbury's actually announced that they'd be running a joint venture with Dansk Supermarkets to bring Netto back to the UK. So we've got a 15-store trial, and there'll be 15 stores in place by the end of 2015. We currently have 5 stores opened, and really this was Sainsbury's way of getting a foothold into the faster growing segment. We know that the discounter market is growing fast, and we've just talked about it. But it's also about us being able to utilise some of our extra space. So we actually have some really large stores that we've split in half, 2 separate entrances, one side's Netto, one side's Sainsbury's, so we're utilising that extra space. For you guys, what you'll be interested to know is that all the eggs sold within the Netto stores are going to be cage-free, or are cage-free. We don't sell any cage eggs through those stores either. So Sainsbury's has a really long heritage of customer service and quality, and this is the front of the first Sainsbury's store from 145 years ago. John James Sainsbury set this up really on the back of, there was issues with food contamination and quality, and essentially this store, the original store, was all about dairy. And actually I can find in the Sainsbury's archives there's references to us and our heritage of working with farmers and collecting actually eggs direct from farm all those years ago. So the whole purpose of these stores was about quality and about value, and the motto there was quality perfect, prices lower. And that ethos has stayed with Sainsbury's. That's what we're known for, and we currently have the Live Well for Less motto. So we know that quality and value remains important, and service remains important to our customers, but we also know that other things are important to them, and we know that because we actually ask them what's important to them. So Sainsbury's have a set of 5 very strong corporate values, and the first one being sourcing with integrity, and this is all to do with our commitment to how we source product, our commitment to British. We've made some very open and public commitments about how we source British and how we work with our farmers and suppliers. Then we have stuff around respect for the environment, for best for food and health, for making a positive difference to our communities, and for a great place to work. So just the table in the bottom shows you what the top 5 are. Now these top 5 remain the same. The order may change slightly, but the top 5 really remain the same. It just depends what's front of mind when we ask people what the issues are. So for the last 3 years, the top has been fair to employees in terms of things that our customers are concerned about. And then you can see here, this year, joint second was reducing labelling, reducing waste, clear labelling, and fair to suppliers. And then for you guys, you'll also see that just scraping in on 3rd place there is a British products and farmers and how we deal them. So we know that it's really important to our customers that we have that conversation, and we're working with our farmers and suppliers, and that relationship is important to them and it's important to us, and it's what my job is about. You'll also see, I'll just point this out, number 6 there was supporting animal welfare, and Sainsbury's has set itself up really as a higher welfare retailer. I just wanted to mention here that we know, for example, that the welfare conscious free range egg shopper will not trade out of free range regardless of price. They will stay in the free range. They may trade to a different shop, but they won't trade out of that welfare offer in terms of free range. We do know, however, that with barn purchases, they will trade up when the price differential comes down, and that's what we've seen with the introduction of a mixed weight pack for £1 of free range. We actually saw people trading up from barn into that sector. What's really encouraging for us is the recent Kantar data actually shows that we've attracted new egg shoppers to the fixture, and so that's really positive, and that's a great area of growth for us. So the reason I'm talking to you about these values is because for Sainsburys, this is what we believe makes us different from the rest of the marketplace, and it's what makes customers loyal to us and wants to shop with Sainsburys. So hopefully at the start of the year, you may well have seen that we ran a set of adverts in January, a TV campaign as well as various press coverage about the fact that our entry point eggs are cage-free, unlike our competitors, which will be offering a cage egg as their entry point. Now, the reason this is important to us is because before that, there was one of our competitors was quite publicly comparing our own brand product with theirs, and we didn't think this was fair. We didn't think that the provenance, the ethics, or the quality of that product could be directly compared. We did actually take the Advertising Standards Authority to judicial review over that. We did hear that we lost a couple of weeks ago, but essentially for Sainsburys, that's really important, that actually for shoppers that come in, we can still give them great value product without having to worry about the ethics or the values behind it. So this is brand new messaging that will be out in the store in the spring, and this is what we call, that will go on our brand walls. And really, again, this is talking about the fact that Sainsburys was the first major retailer to go to cage-free eggs in all its own brand products. And what's important really here is the fact that 50% of everything we sell in store will have the Sainsburys brand on it. 95% of our customers shop the By Sainsburys and the Basics ranges. The Taste the Difference range that we have is actually a 1 billion per annum product in its own right, and that's actually been outperforming the market, growing about 4% year on year. So again, this is all about the fact that we want the messaging to get out that our values are different and people want to buy into the Sainsburys brand. So what's new in terms of eggs? So recently we've done some work where we've seen, and there's demand for it, we've actually introduced regional lines. So we're sourcing from supply in those areas, and you can see for Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales and Yorkshire, we actually offer those eggs in those stores. So if you're buying a pack of 6 free range eggs, it'll say 6 free range Yorkshire eggs, for example, on the top of the pack, as well as showing that emblem on the side. We've done quite a lot as well in terms of investment in packaging this year, and we've improved the packaging, particularly on our Basics range, but we've also saved 137 tonnes of packaging this year through those changes. We've also done a lot on waste and waste through the supply chain, and actually our waste figure is down by 40% this year in terms of wastage through store and through depots. The biggest change has been the Dayglow orange box that we've introduced, and really that's what you can see in the middle. The packaging stores at the suppliers have brightened up a lot since that's come in, but essentially that's about brightening the egg fixture up. That's about people noticing the egg fixture and in store and going to pick up a box of eggs. We've also done it as well, it's easier to see the sizes, but as well as that, it's about people remembering they've got eggs in their fridge. So it's about encouraging people to pick up the eggs and then actually use them and go back and buy some more. What we have done as well is working with our suppliers, we've actually managed to get an extra day of life back to the customer. And this is really important because we know that it's related to quality. And while I'm talking about quality, I should just say that quality really starts with farmers, and our supply base, we're really pleased with our supply base and how it performs, because actually there isn't much you can do with egg quality once it gets to the packing station. It's all down to the farmers that put all the effort in. So we've got an extra day's life, but we're also improved our egg tracker. So now you can scan the QR code on your egg box, put your production code in off the eggs, and it'll take you to a website that will show you the farmer, give you his favourite egg recipe. But as well as that, it also gives information on the different production systems. So what's barn, what's free range, what's organic. It gives you recipes and health ideas around eggs. So it's just some promotion of farm to fork information for Sainsburys customers. So what I thought I'd do now is I'll just show you this video. It's about 3 minutes long, but I really want to show you that farm to fork piece. What we've done is to celebrate 20 years of Freedom Foods this year. We've teamed up with some food bloggers and asked them to come up with a great recipe to showcase some Freedom Food foods, but also we took them out on farm and showed them how they're produced. So I think you're likely to recognise a couple of people in the video, but I was just going to take you some, just show you what it was, so hopefully it'll work.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I write a book called The Young Domestic Diet, and I've been invited by Sainsburys to meet with Susie today and learn more about Freedom Food. Hi, Susie. Hello. Nice to meet you.
We have 21,000 organic free-range hens here, and I live and work here with my family.
Hey girls, we've got visitors today.
No, they're just really interested in us.
Can you tell me what Freedom Food is and how you implement it here?
We've been working with Freedom Food pretty much ever since it started, and you know, it brings nothing but positives to farm animals, and you can almost look at the logo when you're buying stuff and know that that farm is doing all the right things and that those animals are having a better life and a better quality of life. It speaks for itself. You know, when you come out to farms like this, you know, you can see how happy that they are.
The RSPCA's Freedom Food standards are very wide ranging. They go from the start, from the hatchery to the fuller rearing of the chicken, and then the equipment that they're reared with. So they've got the right amount of feeding space, drinking space, stocking bins right within the building, there's light levels. There's way over 200 standards. Some of them are more relevant to the bird's environment, and some of them to the management. Freedom Food, we worked with Sainsburys for 16 years. And over those years, we've built up a range of products in the store, and therefore they now sell over 60% of all the products that Freedom Food produce.
So this is their nest boxes. They like sitting together and keeping them nice and warm while they lay on the bed. Some of them are quite quick, and others like to sit a bit. I mean, if that's their time, and they can sit with their mates or sit on their own. It's totally up to them.
The chickens have so much space to roam around, which I was really surprised at, and they're very happy, and they just seem so content with life, and that's so good to see. So we've had a really great day on the farm today. I've learned so much, and we're going to take some eggs from these hens on this Freedom Food farm and make a dish of shakshuka, which is eggs poached in tomato.
Start by chopping your onion, garlic and pepper. Heat some oil in a pan and then add in the onion and garlic. Keep the heat nice and low and it will become soft and golden brown. Add in the red pepper and shredded sweet potato for added flavour. A teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of paprika and some chilli if you're using it, and fry this up for another couple of minutes. This will infuse the spices. Next, add in the tin tomatoes, spinach, mix it all together and cook for about 10 minutes just so the flavours get to know each other. Crack over the eggs and pop into the oven for another 15 minutes to fully bake through. Serve 2 eggs per person with bread, tzatziki and anything else to make it into a real family feast.
So I hope that just shows you the whole piece that we're doing around the customer right back to the farm. So next I just want to mention about our development groups, and these are really important to us, and really it's a very main part of my job. So Sainsburys have 11 development groups across all the species that they have. I look after feathered things, so chicken, ducks and the egg group. And essentially the ideas around this group is about sharing best practice, it's about communication, it's about us understanding as Sainsburys all the issues that farmers are facing and suppliers are facing and vice versa, so what's going on with the customer. And it's really about that kind of engagement. And it's also about building trust, because I don't stand up here and pretend, remember I've been on the other side of the fence as well. It is about building trust with retailers and understanding why they want to be involved, and I hope that will become clear. But essentially what we're doing with these development groups, we have a steering group which each supplier brings 2 farmers with them along to these groups, and then we'll be looking at trends, we're looking at issues that are going on farm. It's also about R&D, and the eagle eyes among you will see Concept Farm there is David. David's in the audience. He keeps me in line. Anyone who knows David will know he does that quite well. So David is actually our concept farm, and this is where we'll trial different commercial size innovations to see if they actually work before we start doing knowledge transfer out to other farms. David would also be doing things about being our showcase as well, so that we can take people in and show them round. Big data is one of the main focuses for us at the moment. For the last 2 years, Sainsbury's have invested 2 million in agricultural research, and we've got another call out this year, all focusing on big data. So we actually collect a lot of information on farm through the use of some independent consultants that we use. So we use AB Sustain, and those of you who are Sainsbury's Development Group farmers will know that they come onto farm and essentially they produce a carbon footprint. Now the carbon footprint is important to Sainsbury's, but actually what's important to me and the steering group and development group is about production efficiency, and it's kind of linked. It is linked. Lower carbon footprint usually means you're more efficient because you're getting more from less. So we work with AB Sustain on that front, and we collect a lot of information, but we also work with evidence-based veterinary consultancy. So we're using poultry vets, and our vet on the layer side is actually Ian Lowry from Crows Hall. And again, this is about using the data that we have available. Sainsbury's doesn't see any raw data. We don't see individuals' data, but essentially what we're looking for is trends. We're looking for gaps. We're looking for things that Sainsbury's can invest in order to help improve the efficiency and profitability of the farm and essentially the whole supply chain. So one example of this, I was really pleased to see in Poultry World this time, a big focus on water. So what we've just done, one of the projects we've just done, is we've been water sampling across actually the chicken and the egg group, and paying for water tests, sending the information back to farm, but then on the back of that, what we've actually done is collected a lot of production data. And so now Ian is looking at the trends and seeing what's the correlation between mortality and production and water quality. And we'll then feed that back to all our farmers, including a fact sheet. We've already started some rollout of some information because we run regional meetings with all our packers. So Ian's been at those meetings talking about water quality, what to look for, how to clean water lines and what the production is. And of course we can do on-farm workshops. So this year we've done some workshops around woodland and managing trees, because obviously it's a big part of our standard, and where we've got trees that are 10 years old, it's about understanding what the challenges are there and what we can do to help you manage trees. The other thing as well is that we are looking at rolling out, we have done workshops on red mite in the past, but we'll look to roll out workshops as and when suppliers and farmers want that. So that was just a whistle-stop tour of Sainsbury's and really what we do, and I'm obviously I'll take some questions now, but I just want to give you an overview. But the main points to take away from today is the way a customer is shopping is changing, and with this comes challenges. They have more choice about where they shop and how they shop than they ever have done before. But for Sainsbury's, it's about quality, it's about fair prices, and it's about serving those customers whenever and wherever they want. Our relationships with our farmers and suppliers are really important. They're important to us, and it's important to our customers. And it's important that we build long-term and sustainable relationships, and that is a big part of my job. It's important for us because we want to be with the right people moving forward. So working with the development groups, and I'm not saying we get this right all the time, and with our development groups, it's not about rolling out one thing that fits all. What fits milk doesn't necessarily fit eggs, doesn't fit broilers. But essentially what we are trying to do through those groups is get benefits from the data and technology that we have available and make sure the whole chain benefits from that technology. It's also for us about making sure that we have a supply chain that's fit for the future and that is competitive, and it makes sure that Sainsbury's, along with you guys, can evolve and win in the current marketplace. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm open to questions, a whistle-stop tour, and someone might enjoy those chickens on there.